Hi everyone, today I have a great pleasure to speak with Michelle Hon, who is a serious entrepreneur from Singapore.
Hello,
Uh,
everyone.
and so your nickname is Chill Mom. So can you share with us why is that the case and what is your story?
6 years ago, I gave up my food and beverage business. I used to run a soup and salad bar business, and I gave it up when I had my first child, Lauren. I gave it up to be a stay-at-home mom. I thought, okay, fine, I'll just be a lady of leisure, and just enjoy life. But then within 6 months, I got really bored. So then I started a blog. So the blog grew quite quickly, and then from the blog it grew into a consultancy business where I help expecting parents plan the arrival of the babies, and also on social media because I'm work with brands as to get as a brand ambassador to get the message out there. And my latest project is Mom Boss Academy, where I help moms build a business from home, pretty much like how I did it while raising 3 children. So I have 3 kids now since 6 years ago. It wasn't, when I first started, it wasn't really a business. It was just more, what can I do? And then once I see that there's other people reading the blog, then I thought, okay, so um, there is people interested in what I have to say. So that's the first realization.
Mhm.
And then instead of like blogging about what I go through on a day-to-day, instead of like an online diary, I make sure that the content I put out is of value to people. So because I talk about a lot about pregnancy and early motherhood, because that's what I went through, a lot of people started seeing me as the expert um, in that particular niche. And then friends started asking for advice, and then friends recommend friends. And I thought, hey, I'm spending a lot of time on this. Let's start charging people. And this is a very, it's not a traditional business. It's a very new niche where women are getting busier, and we just don't have the time to research for things that we want or to prepare us to be a mom. No one teaches how to be a mom. So yeah. So that's how it grew into a business. And then I start getting serious about it. And then, yeah, like what you do currently, right? Personal branding is one thing that I really worked on heavily on myself, and it bear fruit.
So how did you feel at that time when you realized, okay, this is something which is my hobby, which I really like to do, but there is a potential for the business, and how that transformation in terms of the money wise and in terms of time wise, did you have any plan, or it was everything happened just naturally?
You'll be surprised if you are solving others people's problem, people will pay you for it. And so once I got that, so like it's a mindset shifts from I'm just a stay-at-home mom writing this little blog to I'm spending time, because it's working on a business is taking me away from my children, which the whole purpose of why I started a blog and be a stay-at-home mom, right? So I might as well charge, because otherwise why do it? So it's more of yes, helping people, and at the same time get what I want out of it. First of all, like how I teach my current students is find out what you like. It isn't really about what you've been doing, like what I'm doing, how I grew the blog into a consultancy business, because people see me as the expert in the pregnancy sort of field.
Women are struggling with the like I can work from home, but I cannot make a serious money, so I have to find a normal job and in order to make money. But in your case, it's different. Can you share what is the secret behind?
Well, yeah, I think the thing is like just to know that it won't be six figure from day one, right? I mean, when I first started, I started looking at people who are doing so well, and I'm like, oh, I can never be them. But it takes time. It takes time to, first of all, hone your craft, know what you're good at, and start small. And having a six-figure business or seven-figure, is that something you really want? I think mom needs to ask themselves. If you're happy with just 5 figures, but you still have tons of time for your family, and if that's what you want, then just go for it. Just instead of looking at for other people it's good to look at other people for inspiration, but set your own goals, set what's right for you. And if you think, yeah, 6 figures, that's what I want, then are you prepared to give up the time, and are you ready to build the team to get to that level of business? But if you're not, stay 5 figure, earn a few $1,000s a day, a month. It's just more for, as a mom, especially because I've been a stay-at-home mom, I think that having that income give me that self-esteem that I'm not relying just on my husband. And that's huge, just having that self-confidence that I'm doing something besides just being a mom. I mean, being a mom is a big deal, right? You are setting an example for your children. But besides being a mom, we are multifaceted, right? We have our hobbies, and then I feel like I no longer need to ask my husband for a little pocket money. So yeah, so I think at the end of the day, what makes you happy?
Fantastic. And how important is to have actually support from your family, and how you communicated with your husband and with your kids? Okay, mom needs to work now.
It's a learning process. I definitely can't do it without the support. My husband has to be understanding enough that, hey, Monday to Friday, I take care of most of the sending kids to school, picking them up. And like early this year, I told him that, oh my God, there's so many things on my mind that I have to remember besides my own business, like the timing and all that thing. Like, can you just do something at least just one day per week? It frees me up for that whole afternoon that I can just work, instead of like, oh, mommy's got to stop at 4 o'clock to go home and then send them to school. And also I have a live-in helper, so that's one thing why I like living in Singapore, is that we have live-in helper. But if you don't, you can just just make sure you have someone to help you. I mean, the cleaning and all that, you can leave it to someone else to do it for you. It's not the most important thing, right? But I mean, if you love cleaning, just go do it. But if you get someone to do it, and I also know that a lot of moms struggle with the feeling that having to pay someone to do things that they can do. And the way I see it is that how much is your value per hour? How much do you used to charge when you were working? Say, like, if it's $100 per hour, would you pay $100 to someone else with no qualification in cleaning like yourself? Would you do it, right? So if you're actually doing the job, you're technically spending your worth per hour doing that job. So why don't you just pay someone $20 to do the job? So yeah, if you look at that way, then you feel a lot better about stuff. Then just spend your time doing things that matters, doing things that no one can do it better than you, like spending time with the kids, or planning for your business and how to take the business further. So I've learned that as well. Like, I used to do everything myself, right? I have a virtual assistant to answer email on my behalf. I have a marketing assistant now to help me with things. And yeah, life is a lot better when you're not trying to just, do the nitty-gritty things.
Sure. Yeah. And Michelle, what is your ideal scenario for your business in, let's say, 1 year period of time from now, in next 12 months? And what kind of impact actually you want to have for your business? You want to stay in Singapore, or you want to expand your business?
Okay, interesting that you asked that. For Mom Boss Academy, which I just launched in June, I took on 10 moms to coach them through how to build a business from home. And interestingly, 5 of the moms, like 50% of the moms, are moms who already have some sort of online business, whether selling jewelry or hair bands, or a busy box for children to do home play, but they just haven't been growing. The business hasn't really doing well. So I came in and sort of look at the marketing plan and how we can make everything better. So now they're almost graduating, the first batch of my students. And so now I'm working on building a online program of what I do offline to online. So when it's online, it's really for anyone. Internationally, you can log on anytime at a time that's suitable to you, to go through the videos and do the assessment before you move on to the second module. So it's a 6 weeks program. I was working like my ass off to get it to launch end of September, but I thought about it just last night, and I thought I could actually rush this and give a 50% course that's not that good, but I could launch it. And then I thought, but that's not really my goal. My goal is to help moms transform to become from a stay-at-home mom to become this confident mom who has an action plan and make changes in their lives, right? I'm not only just changing their life, I'm changing the children's life, and having a strong mother figure. And when you're happy, when you're confident, that rubs off to your children. So I'm putting my online course.
How do you feel when something doesn't go as you expected?
I think just face it front on. There's no point like hiding under a blanket when you know it's not happening. One of like my biggest failure was when I first started my soup and salad business. It was in a standalone cafe kind of concept. Within 3 months, like I was just keep losing money. I mean, I could like just swallow my pride. I just want to stick to my cafe business, or I could just wrap it up. So what I did was that, yes, I spent a lot of money and on renovation, like, heartbreak. Still painful thinking about it. But that I quickly learn and move it into a shopping mall. So instead of like a standalone shop that's my own, my friends can hang out and it's all pretty. It's part of a food court. It's not very glamorous, but it works. If cut your losses quick, if you know it isn't working, there's no point trying to be optimistic. Just be practical and realistic. And if things goes well, celebrate every small win. Don't wait until your big goals end of the year, then you celebrate every little win. You hire someone great, and just go out for ice cream. Like the other day, I just decided to launch a podcast, and I just did it. And I was like, okay, kids, let's go for ice cream, and just celebrate every little wins, and it makes the journey a lot better.
Fantastic. And from your experience so far, for all women in our group who are considering to be entrepreneurs as yourself, and what is the message from you which you can share and nobody else can?
You can have it all. A lot of people say you can't. You can have it all. You just need to know what is the all that you want. And yes, and a lot of people fill the time with getting busy, and that's just not the way. You'll burn out. And just do less of what you think matters, that moves the needle in your business or your family or whatever it is. So yeah, if you currently have a business, or if you're thinking of having a business, you can come to momboss.academy or michellehorn.com. I'm sure Edward will leave a link underneath. So click on that, and if you currently have a website, I have this PDF that you can download to see the 7 things that could change your website into a sales machine, because a website shouldn't just be information. It will teach you how to build a funnel and eventually turn the browser into customers. So, and then you can follow me on Instagram at the Chill Mom. And listen to my podcast, please. It's very new. So it's called the Chill Mom Boss, if that's something that you like to listen to. And yeah, so leave any questions that you have for Edward and myself. And if can, I am part of the group. So if I can, then I'll answer your questions. And yeah, I'd lovely to do this again with you, Edward. So for the viewers out there, if you think this would be helpful to you, or any friends that this would be helpful to, do share Edward's group and page, and then we'll be announced it all there, right?
Exactly. Thank you, Michelle. Have a great day.
All right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
you too.